I don't know why, but every anime is coming back within the last few months. Just after I made a video about Great Pretender, I learned they're gonna make a new season for it. And now on top of that, Bungo Stray Dogs is getting another season too. The year was already being pretty stacked, and then they threw in some more animes. Bungo Stray Dogs has no hype behind it though. It's been out for a week already, and it has less than 200k views. I thought Bungo Stray Dogs was already pretty popular, so I don't know why it's not getting any attention. The new season will probably grow at least a little bit, but I thought it was already doing pretty good for itself. But when I thought about it, I never really heard or seen people talking about it. I just kinda assumed it was. I mean, I do hear the name a lot, but I never hear anybody say anything about it being good or bad, just being mentioned. It's one of those animes you just assume has a pretty big following, but I can't find anyone on YouTube who ever talked about it. And everywhere that I did look, people call it underrated. I think most people did watch it at some point, just never talked about it. It's a pretty good show, but that's pretty much it. Just pretty good. It doesn't really have anything unique to it. The story is decent, and the animation is good but nothing crazy. It has nothing you could say it's really good at. I don't want to call it average, cause to most people that just means it's a bad anime. But yeah, it's average. But like the good kind of average. I do like it a lot, but it's not doing anything you won't see in any other anime. Every big anime has something it's known for, either good or bad. Gintama is known as that one comedy anime. One Piece is an anime that's long as fuck. Bleach for being an anime with one of the best character designs. Bungo Stray Dogs just isn't that kind of anime. You're not gonna talk about an anime you think is just average, so it makes sense nobody's talking about it. You either talk about animes you really like or really dislike. No one talks about the ones in the middle. I thought it was a pretty good anime though. It's on the higher end of animes that are in that middle area. It's a cliche anime, but they do it in a way that makes it good. When I watch it, it's reminding me why I got into watching anime so much. It's kinda like nostalgia, but not really. Cause I can't think of any anime I feel nostalgic about. Probably One Piece when it ends, but then they'll make a 2-piece so it's all good. It's what I imagine niggas who praise Dragon Ball feel when they talk about it. For me, I don't have any attachment to Dragon Ball, so it can go from being a pretty good average show to being bad at some parts. But to my friends and people who like it, it can go from good to better. It kicks in that nostalgia filter Dragon Ball fans have for the show basically. I'm not gonna lie, the first season is kinda half and half, but the second season is definitely good. A lot of people who tried it probably dropped it before season 2, so they never really had anything to say about it, or at least anything good. It took me a while to get through the first season too. I remember watching the first episode and then I dipped. I didn't get back to it until probably a few months later. The first season didn't have anything that memorable about it. It was the MC and Akutagawa beating the shit out of each other for a season because of a girl he saved. The first season was out with some side plots mixed in, with some other members doing their own thing. Some of them are pretty interesting, like the mystery cases with Rampu. Then there were some one-off episodes that I didn't really care about. I don't think it has anime filler, cause it's only 12 episodes, but it felt like canon filler, which isn't bad cause I did like some of them, but the rest were really random. The second season was definitely a lot better than the first one. Season 2 going forward, they stopped with the side mission stuff. It was fully focusing on one thing, and wasn't scattered all around like before, and it had the first 4 episodes committed to Dazai's backstory, which is still the best arc in the show for me. Sakunosuke was one of my favorite characters. There wasn't anything that deep about his character. There's not really anything like that at all in the show. Some of them are a bit more complicated, but they're not trying to be philosophical about it. He's a good example of not needing to make stuff complicated, to make it enjoyable to watch. The arc with Dazai's past was definitely where the anime peaked for me. Everything that happened in that arc was really good, and paced well. The groups they have in Stray Dogs reminds me of Gintama in a way. The Mafia and the detective agency are kinda sorta enemies, but they put protecting the city over everything. So there's a lot of times where they team up or have truces to deal with the outside threat. I like that part about it. They don't make it super clear cut, like who is bad and who is good. They don't force characters to be a certain way the whole story. Akutagawa and Asushi, who's MC by the way, they start off hating each other, but they start to understand each other over time, with how many times they fought. I don't know how many people would appreciate this, but the way the anime ends off some episodes is really good. It's a lot like Hunter x Hunter, where they have a really high moment in the anime, and then they sink it in with the ending. They do stuff like that a lot, which is pretty cool. The first season is kinda like a prototype, but after that the anime does everything they try to do pretty well. So if you never watched it, I would give it a chance up to finishing the second season. You still have to watch the first one for the canon stuff, but you don't really get to the good part until the second one. If you enjoyed, go watch some other shit about anime. That's all I had to say though. Peace.